Hi there crafty pals, it's Louise with you. Thanks for checking out this video. It is of course a share for July Kitaholic Kit. I am trying to challenge myself to, pardon me, kill as much of this kit as I can. And it was quite a challenge because although the pattern papers were really quite beautiful and I loved how they coordinated with each other, I found them a little bit overwhelming. I don't know about anybody else, but hopefully this will show you how I've gone about using my kit, and you'll be able to see and get some inspiration. Now, I like to, if I'm finding papers a little bit hard to use, oftentimes incorporating a different shape can kind of help you to get started. And so this rainbow striped background paper, it's a beautiful paper. I think it's fantastic, but using the whole thing as a 12 by 12 was a bit overwhelming, and cutting it in general was just, it was hurting my brain on this particular day. So cutting it into a circle, putting it on a white background gives me a little bit of white space to work with initially, and I found this much easier to create with. Now, I also know that I want to use some more of these pattern papers, and I want to move them, like layer them in different sort of ways. Rather than clustering around my photo, you can see how I'm actually going about this in terms of different harsh edges, so those sort of square or rectangular hard edges in that background, but not enough to overwhelm the entire circle. So this particular photo, it's been around for a little while, and it's from when we did some renovations, and I felt like it was the right photo for this particular collection, which has that sort of everyday life kind of feel to it. So it's really great just to use photos that are, they're not necessarily a special occasion. They're not, in this case, a photo where someone's actually looking at the camera, but it's a way for you to record those memories. And I think that's a really great kit element to have, is that you can use any photo. All right, I do love this little tag, this little frame, and I try to pick up my cluster here so that I can move it around, and I completely have got glue everywhere and pretty much stuffed the whole thing. So don't mind me as I just fiddle around trying to recreate my background here, but I've sort of been doing a bit of gluing as I go, and trying to stick things down once I know that they're definitely going to go in that position. All right, I can't even remember how this particular layout comes together. Yes, I'm definitely happy with the background. I didn't ink the edges of those patterned papers because I knew that they were going to get some other type of treatment. So to leave them plain, that was intentional. The use of the titles was certainly something. I started with the today, and then I popped the life title, and I was like, well, I can't have two of these words. I need to have three. So the memories makes it down the bottom, and this is where you can see I'm going to come and darken the edges of those patterned papers in that background. So this just helps lift them off that background. So you could do some doodling. I mean, if you really wanted to get quite intense, you could certainly mount them on black before you put them onto the layout, but I really like to just put a bit of a black border, and I find it does sort of a very similar thing. All right, adding a few little stickers, obviously. I think these stickers are super fun. I think they really help you to tell the story if you don't necessarily want to put any journaling on your layout. They are really easy just to use those word stickers to sort of add a bit of description to what's going on. Now, at this point, I'm kind of thinking, all right, what do I do next? I could stitch around my circle. That's kind of my go-to, would be stitching. But I'm trying to kind of expand my horizons. And lately I've been really enjoying sort of doodling, black pen work, not overthinking it too much, just creating some scribbles, colouring in. I've been using different strengths of pens. Some are quite thick. Some I put some little sketchy scratchy bits in there, but I think this looks good. It's kind of heading where I want it to go, but it's not until I start to put the hearts, so the foam thicker hearts with their dimension, I start to fill in some of those gaps, which I sort of thought I was going to leave intentionally, but I start to pop in some hearts, and it kind of just flows on from there, and then I put more hearts in, and it all eventually comes together. And I really love the way these hearts look with their sort of little doodly black sketches around that circle. I think it does bring it together quite well in a really easy way that you could definitely replicate with your own kit. I have, of course, popped some very simple journaling because that's a very important part of my creating. But overall, that's my share for today, and I hope you enjoyed.